In the last step, we did all of our markings on our end pieces, and now we're ready to use the drill press to drill the 2 holes that we're gonna use to cut out the handle, and that's gonna use a 7/8 inch Forstner bit. I'll just give you a quick rundown on how the drill press works. So on this side, we have what's called a headlock, which is this knurled grip. If we unlock it, it allows us to twist the head. On the back, we have a lever here, which is labeled column lock. This allows us to swivel the whole column of the drill press. It also allows us to go up and down, but whenever we go to use it, we want to make sure that's locked and then the headlock is locked. And the third lock, which is very useful, is what's called a spindle lock. So for example, if we were going to drill holes in our board here, we would line up the mark with our awl mark. And if we wanted to hold the board there while we put the clamps on, we could tighten the spindle lock. And now when we take our hand off of the lever here, it doesn't return back up. We can apply our clamps and then we know it's in the right spot. Whereas if the spindle lock wasn't on, it would just go up on its own. And the last thing that is useful to know about this drill press is it has a depth stop on this side here. So if we adjust this by turning this silver dial up and down, it allows you to plunge either deeper or less deep. So for us, when we're drilling the 2 holes, we want them to go all the way through, but we don't want to damage our table. So what we want to do is we want to set the depth so that it just touches the table, but doesn't go way too far into it. So currently, it's not going far enough. So I'm going to raise the depth stop so that will let it go further.
A little bit more.
And there's a set screw on this depth stop to make sure it doesn't move. We can lower that, make sure that's the right amount to go. And now we know our depth stop is set correctly and we won't plunge into the table. So what we're gonna need now is obviously we're gonna need our labeled board. We're gonna need eye protection, and then we're gonna need 2 quick clamps. These are so that we can hold the board in position without using our hands, and that we're not in the way of getting hit by our board. So this keeps us nice and safe. So to drill our first hole, what we're gonna do is now that our depth is set, we are going to lower the Forstner bit so that the tip of the drill bit is just in the mark that we made with the awl earlier. We're gonna then lock the spindle lock here. Now that it's not moving, we're gonna place a quick grip on either side of the board, one on the right side and one on the left side. Then we're going to release the spindle lock and we're gonna double check that it's in the same spot. If everything's good to go, we're gonna put on our eye protection, turn the machine on, and drill our first hole. Great, now both of our end pieces have 2 matching holes in each of them.